everybody's here because we're excited about infrastructure development.
It's important to take a comprehensive approach to the support that we're giving to the various countries that are participating in the North-South Corridor scheme.
In times of economic crisis we're in at the moment, that we invest more heavily in making trade happen. So we've got to invest in the roads, we've got to invest in the railways.
For the first time we are bringing together a proposal that makes sense.
A lot of good work has been done, for us to achieve this kind of attendance.
It is my honor and pleasure to warmly welcome you all to Zambia and to this high-level conference on the North-South Corridor. My administration has, in the 2009 budget, placed emphasis on the infrastructure development with resource allocation directed towards the expansion, development, and maintenance of road and rail networks and civil aviation.
The North-South Corridor Conference, as a process, is, for us, an important milestone.
It is imperative that we aggressively push the agenda of regional electricity integration.
It is key to integration. It is key to Africa being competitive and integrated to the global economy. And it is key to Africa's diversification.
We owe it to the continent and its people to put into place a robust program of power development which has to be implemented as a matter of urgency.
We need to fundraise for all this, but also we need to put in our own efforts.
This economic crisis, which is now battering the world economy, is making this agenda even more urgent than before. This means we require much more creativity, flexibility, and coordination. If progress to be made, I believe that this region has enormous potential.
The World Trade Organization is about making trade possible. And this is why this North-South Corridor, again, is so important, because it's not only about being able to reach Dar es Salaam or a port in South Africa, it's also to irradiate the whole of the regions which are involved. Here in Lusaka, we will start translating this into realities.
What business needs is a more business-friendly environment. And even in these tough times, there are still investors for African infrastructure.
Governments must govern and businesses must run businesses. But the synergy between the two is important, and at the moment in this region, it tends to be them and us, and not we.
I think anything that looks at how business can be done in Africa more effectively, both from a business perspective and a development perspective, is very, very important.
There's lots of entrepreneurship, there are lots of ideas, there's amazing talent in Africa. I do believe that with some real political will and with the private, public and international players pulling together in a project like this could make a difference, and it must make a difference.
Obi, the Vice President of the World Bank. In the last couple of years, you've been pretty determined to deliver. What's going to happen? Why do you support it?
Already we have investments of over 160 million on the corridor projects. And additionally, we're going to have some 340 million in the next 3 years. And then add to that 500 million in non-core corridor-related projects. And that gives you $1 billion of commitment.
I must pause you to allow applause. Let's turn to somebody who doesn't really need any introduction.
Well, today we're pledging 115 million euros to this project. We hope that will be a significant contribution, but we also pledge the ongoing support from myself, my colleague Louis Michel, and the Commission to work to see this project through and to see it become an example of many more to follow.
Commissioner. Thank you very much indeed. Gareth Thomas, he's the Minister of State in Britain for DFID, and he's come down from London to express and indeed to consolidate the very considerable personal support he's given to this project.
The Zambians themselves have championed this initiative along with the regional economic communities. And that's one of the reasons why we're willing to commit an extra £100 million of new money to this initiative. So that's over the next 5 years in total. We'll commit some £67 million, almost $100 million US over the next 2 years to the North-South corridor, which will help with infrastructure, but it'll also help with some of the other issues that different presidents and other donors have referenced, such as the work at one-stop border posts, such as other trade facilitation measures.
Japan was a very key attendant at the G20, and the Ambassador has something you'd certainly like to share with us on this.
Yes, first of all, that Japan will actively mobilize up to $4 billion US in concessional loans to Africa over a 5-year period, and speedily implement grant and technical assistance amounting to $2 billion US. We are ready to work together with African people.
Well, it's a fantastic sum on a Pan-African basis. Thank you very much indeed, Ambassador. Franklin Moore, Assistant Administrator for Africa. Why is the American administration keen to see this happen?
It's very useful for someone who has traveled from Washington to see so many heads of state here committing themselves to the concept of improved trade, particularly improved trade that is internal to Africa.
Thank you very much indeed. Ambassador Mopacho, can you tell us what your overall reaction to the project is and what sort of support you want to give it?
As our heads of state have said, the pinnacle of this tripartite is really to open up the economic space in our region, open up, modernize our railways, upgrade our roads, rebuild our ports and our railway infrastructure, and really see that the cost of doing business come down.
There's 1,000 people here hearing you, and I think 1,000 people, every one of whom has a shoulder they can put to the wheel on this particular course. So, I mean, it is very exciting. And thank you for pointing it out. Thank you. I'd like very much now to turn to the Finnish ambassador. Are you very supportive of this project?
We support it actively. For instance, last December here in Zambia, we launched our regional own Aid for Trade action plan. And we see this tripartite North-South initiative as a very good, concrete example of regional cooperation.
That's excellent. Thank you very much. What's Germany's support for this and why?
In the weeks to come, and building on the outcomes of this conference, Germany will look into the possibility of contributing more directly to the North-South Conference, the Corridor Initiative.
Thank you very much indeed, Ambassador. That's both Finland and Germany looking at future funding. David White from the EIB. Can you tell us what the EIB is thinking in terms of?
At the end of this month, we shall sign almost 100 million euros. This is in complement to the World Bank's funding, and this we will do together with Dutch and the Danish. And 4 weeks ago, I signed together with our colleagues in the French and German development agencies over 100 million euros for the link-up between Namibia and Zambia on the interconnector, the power interconnector, which is a crucial part of the South African power pool interchange system, and we can discuss that more tomorrow. So these are actual figures. They're 200 million euros as of now for this kind of investment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David, very much. And our estimate is that the sum that has actually been pledged, tangible pledged, not the promises that we've also already had from Finland, from Germany, from other places, but the actual committed pledged funds amount to $1.2 billion, a significant sum. $1.2 billion.